I never thought mercy could taste like chicken noodle. But that foggy Tuesday in Brooklyn, when I handed over my last $5 for a styrofoam cup steaming with regret,
It did.
the old man under the bridge, ragged coat, eyes like cracked asphalt, muttered a thanks that sounded like gravel. And I walked away thinking I'd bought myself a sliver of absolution for the sins I'd carried too long. But absolution? That's a lie we tell ourselves in this city. What I got instead was a ghost from my past, pounding on my door at midnight with a manila envelope that smelled like fresh ink and buried bodies, whispering, "Amaya, you didn't kill him. But you damn well should have." It started 6 years ago, back when I was Amaya Reyes, rising star at Sterling Financial in Midtown Manhattan, the kind of Latina accountant who cracked jokes in boardrooms to hide the chip on her shoulder from growing up in the Bronx projects. I'd clawed my way up from temp files to VP of compliance by 28, the only brown face in a sea of khakis and golf swings. That's where I met Victor Hale, tall, Ivy League polish, the golden boy CFO with a smile that could close deals or break hearts. We fell hard and fast, late nights auditing ledgers turning into dawn patrols for bagels, his hand on my knee under conference tables. By year 2, he was mine, ring on my finger, dreams of a brownstone in Park Slope. "You're my anchor, Maya," he'd say, kissing the tattoo on my wrist, a tiny anchor from my Navy dad, who shipped out before I could walk. But anchors drag you down when the ship's on fire. Victor had a side hustle, one he thought I was too busy crunching numbers to notice, skimming client funds, funneling them into offshore shells for his philanthropy projects, code for laundering cash for a network of crooked developers eyeing gentrification gold in Harlem. I stumbled on it one Thursday, buried in a spreadsheet anomaly during a routine audit. Millions missing, trails leading to dummy core with Victor's fingerprints all over them. My stomach dropped like the 6 train at rush hour.
Confront him?
Call the feds? No. I did the stupid, loyal thing. I covered it. Falsified reports. Rerouted the audits. Told myself it was for us, for the life we were building. He's under pressure, I rationalized to my reflection in the ladies' room mirror, splashing cold water on a face that looked too much like my mom's, the one who scrubbed floors to keep us fed. Everyone deserves a second chance.
The feds didn't see it that way.
Tip line anonymous, Victor's doing. I later learned dropped my name like a grenade. Raids at dawn. Headlines screaming, Bronx bombshell in Wall Street heist. I took the fall, 5 years in Bedford Hills. Federal pen for women who trusted too much. Victor walked free, testified against me with crocodile tears, painted me as the mastermind. She manipulated me. Your honor, ambitious, ruthless. The jury ate it up. I was the outsider, the spick with the chip. Lost the ring, the job, the dignity. Parole came early for good behavior. But the world's a colder place when your LinkedIn's a mugshot.
Now,
at 34, I'm scraping by in a Crown Heights walk-up that reeks of cabbage and regret, temping as a bookkeeper for a bodega chain while dodging debt collectors. That's the Tuesday I bought the soup. Rained sideways all day, the kind that soaks your soul. And there he was under the G train overpass, mid-60s, maybe. Salt and pepper beard matted with city grime. Sign reading lost everything. Need a hand up. Something in his eyes snagged me. Not desperation, but recognition. Like he'd seen my kind of broken before. I handed over the soup and a soggy dollar. Muttered stay dry, and bolted before the lump in my throat turned to tears. Midnight knock rattled me from a nightmare of orange jumpsuits. I cracked the door. Chain still latched. peering into the hall's fluorescent buzz. Him, the soup guy, filthy coat dripping puddles, clutching that envelope like a lifeline. Amaya Reyes? The one they called the Viper. His voice was whiskey rough, Midwestern flat. I froze. Nobody called me that anymore. It was the tabloid tag from the trial. Who the hell are you? I hissed, heart jackhammering. Name's Harlan. Harlan Tate. Worked security at Sterling till your hubby got me canned. He pushed the envelope through the crack, fingers trembling. Found this in a locker at Penn Station. Meant for you. Read it. Then decide if you want to hear the rest. I snatched it, slammed the door, deadbolted it twice. Inside, grainy photos of Victor, arm in arm with a blonde in a Tribeca penthouse, his new associate, for the Post clippings tucked in. But the kicker? A flash drive with audio, Victor's voice, smooth as silk, confessing to a burner phone contact. Maya took the heat. Yeah. But that tip? I made it. She's rotting so I can build. And if she sniffs around, well, accidents happen in the joint. My knees buckled. Betrayal's a slow poison. But this? Straight venom. Harlan's story spilled out when I let him in, cautious, over instant coffee that tasted like battery acid. Fired for incompetence after catching Victor's late-night meetings, he'd spiraled. Divorce. Bottle. Streets. Penn Station locker was his Hail Mary, stashing junk for dealers to pay for flops. But this package? Delivered by a jittery kid in a hoodie. Address scrawled, for the Viper, truth or die. Harlan figured it was karma. Or maybe just dumb luck. You're getting a second shot, kid, he said, eyes gleaming. Don't waste it on soup. I didn't sleep. Dawn broke gray, and I was on the subway to Midtown, envelope burning a hole in my thrift store purse. Sterling loomed like a monolith, glass facade mocking my scuffed boots. Victor was untouchable now, promoted to CEO, face on Forbes 30 under 40 reruns. Married to that blonde, Elena Voss, real estate shark with daddy's old money strings. Their wedding announcement in the Times? Salt in the wound. But the audio? Gold. Proof he framed me, perjured himself. One upload to the right whistleblower site, and his empire crumbles. Except empires fight back. I tailed him from the lobby, me in a borrowed trench from the church thrift, blending into the tourist shuffle. Lunch at La Bernardine. Power schmooze with suits who looked like they ate ethics for breakfast.
Then,
the twist, Elena's not just arm candy. Overheard snippet as they ducked into a town car. The Harlem deal's locked. Reyes is out of the picture forever. My blood iced. Harlem, my old neighborhood, where mom's ghost still haunts the stoops. Victor's philanthropy redux, evicting families for luxury condos. Same playbook. Rage is a quiet thing at first, like embers under ash. By evening, I was in a cyber cafe in Hell's Kitchen, VPN masked, uploading the audio to a dark web forum for white-collar whistleblowers. Anonymous tip, Sterling CEO's dirty laundry. Hits spiked overnight, SEC chatter.
Reporters sniffing.
Victor's phone blew up. I watched from a diner across the street as he paced his office. Face thunderous, barking orders to fix it. That's when the flip started. Harlan called at 2 a.m. Voice hushed. They're on to you.
Maya.
Goons roughed me up under the bridge, said, tell the Viper to back off or next time it's her. But listen. I got more. He met me at a derelict lot in Bushwick, chain link rattling in the wind. Handed over a USB, blueprints, emails. Victor wasn't just laundering, he was rigging bids, bribing councilmen to fast-track eminent domain on Harlem blocks. And Elena? Co-conspirator. But with a grudge, her firm's rep tanked in the scandal. She blamed me for stealing Victor's focus. We end this, Harlan growled, or it ends us. But trust is a fragile thread, especially when it's strung by strangers. I didn't know Harlan's full story then, ex-cop. Dishonorably discharged for shaking down perps. Now scraping by on grudges. He flipped first, leaked my IP to a PI firm on Victor's payroll, thinking it'd flush me out for a bigger score. Cops showed at my door by noon. Badges flashing. Miss Reyes. Aiding and abetting fraud. I bolted out the fire escape. Pulse roaring. Piecing it, Harlan's more was bait. His beatdown faked for sympathy. Brooklyn streets blurred as I ran, past murals of forgotten heroes. Kids in hoodies hawking lissies. Victor's reach was long. Black SUVs prowled like sharks. I holed up in a motel off Flatbush. The kind with hourly rates and prayers etched in the headboard. There, scrolling Tor on a burner laptop. I dug deeper. Twist 2. The anonymous tip that jailed me? Not just Victor. Mom's old neighbor. Mrs. Delgado, sweet abuelita type, had whispered it to a reporter. Jealous-eyed, sold out for white-collar sin. She died in the joint's crossfire. Overdose, they called it. But notes said otherwise. Victor covered that too. Payoff to her estate. Revenge crystallized. Not a leak, but a flood. I hacked Victor's calendar. Child's play with old Sterling backdoors. Saw the gala. Sterling's urban renewal fundraiser at the Met. Black tie schmoozers toasting displacement. I'd crash it. Not with fists, but facts. Dressed in a pilfered gown from a consignment shop. Hair pinned like armor. I slipped in as catering staff, tray of champagne flutes my prop. The hall glittered, chandeliers dripping light on tuxes and gowns. Air thick with caviar and cologne. Victor held court near the Rothko. Elena on his arm in emerald silk, laughing that hyena laugh. I waited for the toast. Heart a war drum. As forks clinked, I accidentally spilled the tray, champagne arcing like confetti, straight onto the mayor's lap. Chaos, napkins flying, apologies tumbling. In the shuffle, I palmed Victor's phone from his jacket, ghosted to the coat check, plugged in the USB. Broadcast live to the gala's AV system, his voice. Damning. Looping. Maya took the heat. Accidents happen. Screams. Flashes popping like gunfire. Victor's face, priceless, draining to ash as the crowd turned. Elena clawed at the projector. Shrieking. Deep fake. It's her, the ex-con. Security swarmed, but I was already out. Gown hiked. Sprinting into Central Park's gloom. Sirens wailed distant. Headlines would feast tomorrow. Harlan waited in the shadows by the reservoir. Cigarette glowing like an accusation. You did it.
Kid. Sifling.
But his eyes darted, guilty. Why'd you sell me out? I spat. Fist clenched on the phone I'd wiped clean. He shrugged. Smoke curling. Needed the cash. Victor offered double to rat you. But hey, you got the drop, call it even? Even? Betrayal's a mirror, reflecting our own cracks. I could have ended him there, lakes deep. Night's black, but that's Victor's game. Instead, I walked. The city's swallowing me whole. Dawn found me in a diner, nursing black coffee, watching the news. Sterling CEO in custody. Wife flees to Europe. Twist 3. Elena's flip. She'd cut a deal, testifying against Victor for immunity, spilling the Harlem bribes. My old blocks saved.
For now.
But the anchor tattoo itched, Mom's voice in my head. Mija, revenge is a chain, not a key. Was it justice? Or just another layer of the con? Harlan vanished. Soup cup karma repaid in blood money. Victor rots in a cell like I did. But Elena's free, building her own empire on my ruins.
Me?
Back to temping, but with a ghost of a smile. In America, we don't get happy endings, we get sequels. And mine's just starting. You think revenge ends with the click of cuffs?
Nah.
That's the intermission bell in this fucked up play we call life. 2 weeks post-gala. I'm ghosting through Queens, crashing on a cousin's pullout in Astoria. The kind of spot where the Acropolis Diner's Eurogrease seeps into your dreams. Victor's trial prep dominates the feeds, pundits on CNN dissecting his fall from grace, like he tripped on a banana peel instead of stepping on necks. Elena's vanished into the ether. Whispers of a villa in Santorini funded by plea bargain hush money. And me, Amaya Reyes. The viper strikes again. But this time the papers call it vigilantism, not victory. Ex-gon's revenge porn or justice served? One post headline sneers. Photoshopped my mug next to Victor's scowl. Harlan's the wild card I can't shake. His betrayal stung like cheap tequila, burns going down. Regrets coming up, but curiosity's a bitch. I track him via street whispers. Old-timers at the shelter saying he scored big. Vanished to Jersey motels. Turns out, Victor's double was chump change. Harlan flipped again. Feeding me crumbs through a burner text. Meet the pier. Midnight. Bring the anchor. Cryptic fucker. I go. Anyway, armed with pepper spray and a switchblade from my parole officer uncle's just-in-case drawer. The East River laps black under the Williamsburg Bridge. Freighters moaning like lost souls. Harlan's there, silhouetted against sodium lights, nursing a flask that smells like regret. Knew you'd come.
Maya.
Blood calls to blood. He hands over a dog-eared ledger. Pages yellowed like bad teeth, Victor's original skim logs, cross-referenced with names I recognize. Councilmen, developers, even a judge who signed my warrant. Found it in a safe. Guy's sloppy when he's scared. But there's more. Your mom's overdose? Not suicide. Victor dosed her coffee. Thought she was the tipster. Proofs in the tox report. Buried in county files. The world tilts.
Mom, Rosa Reyes.
Queen of plantains and prayers, gone while I rotted. Because of him? I see her now, rosary beads clicking in the kitchen, humming Selena as she fried tostines, telling me,
Amor propio.
Mija, love yourself first.
Victor stole that. 2.
Rage boils over, I lunge, blade flashing. But Harlan's ex-cop reflexes kick in. He twists my wrist. Flask clattering into the drink. Easy. I'm not the enemy here. Victor's got a contingency. Offshore slush fund. 20 mil. Keyed to Elena's biometrics. She's the key, literally. Flip her, and it all burns. Elena's the serpent in this garden. All scales and hiss. I dig. She's holed up in a Soho loft. Lawyered to the gills. Prepping her tell-all for Vanity Fair. Victim narrative.
Natch.
From betrayal to boss babe.
Gag.
But the loft's got weak spots. Rooftop access via fire escape. Overlooked by hipster bars blasting Drake. Night 3. I scale it, heart pounding like a reggaeton bassline. Slip through an unlocked terrace door. She's there. Mid-yoga in Lululemon. blonde ponytail swinging like a noose. She doesn't scream, freezes, then laughs, low and throaty.
Amaya.
The ghost returns. Wine. Pours 2 glasses from a chilled bottle. Like we're sorority sisters. We talk. Circle like sharks, her spilling how Victor rescued her from a bad marriage. Promised the world. Then dangled her as bait when the feds knocked. He flipped on me first, said I'd orchestrated it all. I flipped back because, darling, survival's a solo sport. Her eyes, ice blue, hold no remorse. You're the wild card. Took his fall like a martyr. Why not let it lie? Because he killed my mother, I whisper. Blade's edge catching lamplight. She blanches, first crack in the facade. Rosa?
The tip.
That was me. Anonymous. To protect us. Victor found out. Handled it. Handled. Like trash. I pressed the knife to her throat. Not deep. Just enough for the pearl necklace to snap. Beads scattering like lies. The fund. Access it. Wire it to me, expose the lot. Or I carve your truth into your pretty skin. She flips, literally. Disarms me with a Krav Maga twist. Nails raking my arm. You think you're the Avenger? You're just another cog. Maya. That ledger Harlan gave you?
Fake.
He's playing you both, for the fund himself. Ex-cop with a grudge? Classic Patsy. We grapple. Crashing into Aim's chair. Glass shattering. Sirens wail distant. Neighbor called it in. Elena pins me. Breath hot. Walk away. Or join Rosa. But mercy's my curse. I knee her gut. Bolt for the window. Leaping to the fire escape as NYPD floods the street below. Harlan's waiting 2 blocks over. Engine idling in a rust bucket Impala. Get in. I do. Fury blind. You set me up again? He guns it toward the BQE. Horns blaring. Half-truths.
Kid.
The ledger's real. But yeah, I padded it for leverage. Victor's boys are closing in. Elena's tipped Chase ensues. SUVs tailing. Bullets pinging fenders like firecrackers on the 4th. Harlan weaves through traffic.
Apro.
But one's got us boxed at the Kosciuszko Bridge. Jump the rail, swim for it, he yells. River below. Oily and unforgiving. I hesitate. Flash of Bedford's cold showers. Mom's grave. Fuck that. Grab his flask, still half full, douse the dash. Spark the lighter from my pocket. Flames whoosh. The Impala's up higher. Buying us seconds. We bail. Rolling down embankment. Mud sucking at boots. Harlan's hit, grazed shoulder. Blood-blackened moonlight. Go, he gasps. Finish it. I drag him to a storm drain. Patch him with my scarf.
Why?
What's your angle? He coughs. Grin crooked. Lost a daughter to one of Victor's developments. Condo collapse. Cut corners. She was 12. Been waiting 6 years for payback. Flip 4. Not greed.
Grief.
We hole up in an abandoned warehouse off Flushing Avenue. Rats skittering like informants. Harlan's wound festers. But his stories don't. Tales of precinct corruption. Badges bought with sterling cash. You're the blade.
Maya.
I'll be the handle. Plan hatches over stale pretzels. Elena's testifying tomorrow, federal courthouse. High security. But she's gotta tell. Pre-hearing ritual. Coffee at La Colombe on Lafayette. I stake it out. Disguised in a Mets cap and oversized shades. Harlan feeding drone footage from a pond DJI. She arrives, latte in hand, flanked by feds. But the flip, Victor's lawyer approaches, hushed words. Envelope exchange. Bribe? Blackmail? I tail her cab to the courthouse. Slip in through service entrance. Janitor's pass from a bodega hookup. Halls echo with justice's hollow ring. Clerk shuffling pleas. Defendants in orange shuffling chains. Elena's in a side room, prepping with her shark attorney. Door ajar, I eavesdrop. Heart in throat. The fun's clean if I walk, she murmurs. Victor's scapegoat now. But the lawyer flips, unless Reyes testifies. She's got the audio real, not deepfake. Elena's voice cracks, then bury her. Like Rosa. That's my cue. Burst in. Recorder live on my phone. Bury who?
Elena?
Say it for the mic. Chaos. Attorney lunges.
Elena shrieks.
Guards pile in. But not before she spits. You think you're clean? Harlan's the tipster original. Fed Victor your location for a cut. He's the snake. Not me. Cuffs click, mine and hers. Feds swarm. Statements blur. Harlan?
Mia. His phone dead.
Trial day's a circus. Victor in the dock. Silver hair slicked. Playing the wounded lion. I take the stand. Voice steady as subway rails. Audio plays. Ledgers projected. Elena's deal unravels under cross. But the twist Harlan texted at dawn. I'm confessing. All of it. For my girl. He turns state's evidence, exposes the precinct ties. Victor's full network. Courtroom gasps as exhibits drop. Mom's tox report, doctored by a crooked me on payroll. Victor's eyes meet mine across the bench, not rage, but recognition.
Maya.
I did it for us. The big life.
Lies.
Always lies. Jury deliberates 3 days. Verdict. Guilty. 25 to life. Cheers from the gallery. Activists from Harlem.
Kuzinsil.
But as bailiffs haul him, he whispers to his lawyer, who slips me a note. Funds yours. Keys with Harlan. Forgive. Forgive? The word tastes like ash. Freedom's a funny word when it's laced with barbed wire. Post-trial. The world's a funhouse mirror. Reporters cam my stoop, offering book deals for my side, like Betrayal's a bestseller. Victor's empire crumbles, Sterling seized, assets frozen. Headlines crowing, Viper bites back. Elena flips one last time, cuts a deeper deal, rats out the councilman, lands community service in a penthouse rehab. She's the survivor. Spinning yarns of redemption on podcasts. From femme fatale to feminist icon.
Me?
I'm the footnote. The troubled anti-heroine shrinks dissect on Fox. Harlan's the ghost now. His confession cracked the case wide, dozen indictments. Badges stripped, but he's vanished. Fund key in hand. That note from Victor? A taunt. Or a trap. The offshore account. Cayman Islands. 20 mil in reparations. Biometrically locked to Elena's print. But with a failsafe, Harlan's DNA swab from the warehouse bandage. Access needs both. Greed or grief. I chase leads. Jersey dives. Atlantic City flops. Find him in a Ventnor boardwalk motel. Salt air thick. Slots chiming distant like mocking laughter. He's gaunt. Shoulder scar puckered. Flask traded for Bible verses scrawled on napkins.
Maya.
Knew you'd track me. No fight. Just surrender. Hands the key fob. A thumb drive etched with coordinates. It's yours. All of it. For Rosa. For my Ellie. Ellie, his daughter. Photos pinned to the wall. Gap-toothed grin at Coney Island. Before the collapse. Flip 5. He wasn't the original tipster. That was Elena. But he amplified it. Feeding Victor my temp shifts for protection money. Thought it'd keep you safe. Keep him close. But snakes bite handlers. We drive south at dawn. His Impala resurrected. Me shotgun with ghosts riding backseat. Keys to the kingdom. But the roads paved with what-ifs. Cayman flights a red-eye. Economy squeeze, me in yoga pants. Him in flannel. Blending with hungover tourists. Banking halls a vault of whispers, marble floors. Clerks with British accents eyeing us like stray dogs. Biometric scan. Elena's print forged via silicone lift from her latte cup, Harlan's old trick. His swab legit. Screen blinks green, balance, $23,478,912.42. My breath catches, Mom's voice echoes. Don't let money own you.
Mia.
But victory's hollow when it's stolen. Harlan transfers it clean. Charity shells for Harlem housing. Women's shelters. Ex-cop rehab. No more chains, he mutters. We walk out billionaires in spirit. Paupers in soul. Back in JFK haze. He turns. I'm done running. Gonna turn myself in. Full confession. I nod. Throat tight. Why now? 'Cause revenge ain't a solo. It's a circle, breaks if you hold too tight. He hugs me. Rough. Fatherly, smells like Old Spice and ocean. Last I see. Cuffs glinting as feds escort him. A ghost finally caught. Twist lands like a gut punch. 6 months later. Parole board calls. Victor's appeal, new evidence. Claims the audio's coerced. Harlan's the puppet master. Elena testifies remote. Video feed flawless. Amaya orchestrated it all, framed my husband to steal the fund.
Lies.
But slick. Backed by doctored logs Harlan padded. Courtroom divides. Activists chant outside. Free the Viper, while talking heads on MSNBC debate. Hero or hustler? When does justice become vendetta? I take the stand again. Anchor tattoo gleaming under lights. He killed my mother. Framed me. Built empires on graves. Jury hangs mistrial. Victor walks on technicals. Elena smirks from afar. But the real flip? The funds traces lead back, not to us, but to him. Victor's forgive note? Code for a virus. Draining the charity shells to his new shell corp. 20 mil gone. Poof, funneling to. Harlem? Wait, legit co-ops now. His redemption arc. PR spin for a lighter sentence. Debate rages. Did I win? Lose? Or just spin the wheel again? Protests swell, viperizing trends. Murals of my face on Bronx walls. I move back to the old block. By Mom's stoop with temp cash. Plantains sizzling on a new grill. Harlan writes from Sing Sing. Circles broken.
Kid.
Your turn to draw a new one. In America, revenge isn't a period, it's an ellipsis. Victor's free. But haunted. Elena's exposed. Clawing relevance.
Me?
I'm Amaya Reyes. No longer Viper, just a woman with scars and soup-stained mercy. Next rainy Tuesday, I spot a kid under the bridge. Sign ragged. Hand over a coffee. Black. Stay dry. He nods. Eyes like cracked asphalt. Circle turns. Who's the ghost this time?